For the Warriors, it may be beneficial to return to the floor in less than 24 hours when they take on the Utah Jazz here at Chase Center, because tonight did not go their way as Oklahoma City improved to 30-5 on the season, blowing away the Golden State Warriors, and at one point in the second half led by 41 points. As the Warriors scored the lowest point total of the season, just 94, as they were shorthanded without Stephen Curry, Jimmy Butler, and Draymond Green, and many others here as they lose to OKC to start the new year. We welcome everybody to Toyota Warriors Postgame Live here at the Gay House at Thrive City with the Hall of Famer, Chris Mullin. I am Bonta Hill, and you mentioned it. The Warriors are going to have to make a lot of threes to stay in this basketball game. But we saw at halftime just 5 of 20, and in the second half, OKC suffocated them even more in the half court.
Yeah, OKC showed why they're the defending champs. And first and foremost on the defensive end, running players off the three-point line, chasing from behind, contesting every single shot, 1 through 15. Everyone plays with the same energy, same passion, led by Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And Bonta, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is this season averaging 30 points, over 30 points per game, shooting 50, 40, 90. As a team tonight, the OKC Thunder shot 54%, 42% and 100 from the free throw line. As a team, that is incredible.
7 players in double figures led by SGA, 30 points, 7 assists tonight, 10 of 20 from the floor. So it was a 50, 40, 90 guy once again tonight, but really this game flipped in the second quarter. 7:19 left in the second. Warriors cut the Oklahoma City Thunder 12-point lead to 2. It was 38-36. And here you go. OKC said, you know what, enough of this. They go on a 19-0 spurt, and the Warriors go 4 minutes and 42 seconds without scoring a single point, and Oklahoma City, Mully, did not look back.
Yeah, obviously incredible efficiency on the offensive end, Bonta, but I think defensively, just contesting every single shot, not giving anything easy to the Warriors. And we were down there in the tunnel. It was 42-36. I remember telling you, if they can keep this thing under 10, and I said, if it's 4 or 6, they're going to be in a really good position. By the time we got up to the Gatehouse, they were down 20. So this team, the Oklahoma City Thunder, locked in on the defensive end. I mean, there's so many things that are impressive about them, led by SGA, but I'm impressed with their bench. The kid Carlson.
Yeah, Brandon Carlson.
I mean, if you didn't know what number he was or the backfield, you would think that's Chet Holmgren. And they play the same consistent effort level. The defensive principles do not change one bit. So this is championship DNA. And I love their composure and their demeanor. Their on-court demeanor, it never changes. You know, you always talk about don't get too high, don't get too low. That's set by SGA. He's much like Steph Curry, a very even-keeled guy, always positive with his teammates. He empowers his teammates, he includes them, and in turn, this looks like a dynasty in the making, much like the Warriors. That's what it looks like to me. As we see the Warriors come to the end of a dynasty, I think we're watching the beginning of a dynasty with this Oklahoma City Thunder team.
In just 28 minutes and 11 seconds, Mully, 10 of 20 from the floor, 3 of 5 from the three-point line. And the scouting report used to be with SGA, hey, let them shoot from the three-point line. Let them have those open looks. Well, you can't do that today in today's game because he's going 42% from the three-point line, shooting 42% from the three-point line. We know he's an efficient free throw shooter. He gets 7 dimes tonight in just 28 minutes, so you get SGA, but I want to circle back to the second quarter run. Was it more of OKC imposing their will on the Dubs, or was the Dubs just simply missing shots?
Well, missing shots, of course. The efficiency numbers all night were down. But they're missing Steph, Draymond, and Jimmy. So a lot of guys that played really well the last 2 games off the bench and really won those games in Brooklyn and Charlotte. All of a sudden you're stepping up playing against the frontline starters of OKC Thunder, who by far is the best team in the league. You're asking a whole lot of unlikely things to happen. And we mentioned if they would make maybe 24 threes at a high level, take care of the basketball, which I thought they did a decent job, definitely at halftime. It was 9-9 points off turnovers. But the depth, the length, the athleticism, the star power of the Oklahoma City Thunder just wore them down.
SGA, 4-7 in that third quarter, 14 points. And like Steph, when he has those third quarter flurries, SGA said, you know what, let's end this game right now. We talked about the first 6 minutes of the third quarter. Well, SGA started cooking, 14 in that frame, 2 of 3 from the three-point line, and really just put the game out of reach for the Dubs.
And Bonta, we were down there watching closely, and you can see, sometimes on TV, you don't understand why defenders are always fouling him. The reason he gets fouled so much, he creates so much separation off his step back. You have to close on him. And when you're closing, he's so far away, you're off balance. And once you do that, he's got you at his mercy. He can jump into you, get under your arms, but it's all based on his ability to play off kilter, off speed. He's got great length and size. He can put you in the post, but the separation he gets is amazing. And as you said, in the past, maybe you could live with his three-point shot. He came in tonight shooting over 42%. So this guy has no weaknesses. He seems like he keeps getting better after being an MVP.
Yeah, he's got the hezzy, the step back. He could blow by any defender in this league. He's the total package, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Then you think about his second and third options. Chet Holmgren. He really started cooking in the second quarter. He comes up with a double-double. The Oklahoma City Thunder had two players with the double-double tonight. You talked about Brandon Carlson. He had 15 and 11 off the bench with Chet Holmgren, 15 and 15 overall, 4 assists in just 26 minutes.
Yeah, you talk about using your strengths. Tonight, the Warriors are a much smaller team, so you see Chet really concentrating on getting his points in the paint. He has the ability to shoot the three-point shot, but you see him get to the offensive glass. I'm not quite sure, Bonta, if I'm more impressed with his offensive arsenal or his defensive versatility, because he guards the pick and roll, he can switch on perimeter players, and he seems to make multiple efforts every single possession. We were down there in the tunnel once again. We saw him contest a shot, get back for the defensive rebound, run in transition, get an offensive rebound putback. This guy's got incredible athleticism. He's tough. A lot of those 7-foot guys, they don't have that grit. He kind of plays like a wing, but he's 7'2". Really good feel for the game. He's an impressive counter Batman to SGA's Robin to his Batman, yeah.
No, Chet, you mentioned from the three-point line, contesting, defensive rebound, flies down the floor, gets an offensive rebound at the putback. He's a special player. And the 4-block shots, and how many other shots did he contest?
Contest everything. He seemed like he always, that's the thing with this Oklahoma City Thunder team. I think a lot of teams preach contesting every shot that'll wear teams down. I mean, when they get beat, there's help. The guy who got beat's chasing from behind. There's help the helper. They're cracking back on the glass. They have incredible habits. You see why they're the defending champs.
Yeah, 30-5 on the season. 3 of those losses coming at the hands of the San Antonio Spurs. As we compare their season to what the Warriors did back in 2015 and 16 when they won 73 games. Of course, that's a record in the NBA, a 73-9 record. But OKC, not too far off the pace there. Their offensive rating actually higher than the Dubs that season. You see their play defense and the point differential. They are blowing everybody away. How many ice and chill games has SGA, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams had this season, Mully?
Yeah, I mean, to be compared to that incredible Warriors team in itself is an accomplishment. But I do like this demeanor of this Oklahoma City Thunder team. I don't think they're chasing a win total. I really, when you hear them talk post-game, you hear their comments from 1 through 15. It's about improving each and every day. Not getting too high, not getting too low. They lost 4 games in December. And everyone's like, what's wrong with the Oklahoma City Thunder? Their numbers were very similar to when they're winning. I think the head coach, Mark Daigneault, does a great job of really emphasizing the daily process, the journey, and obviously with SGA leading the way, everyone just falls in place.
They play like they're disrespected on a nightly basis, Willie. I mean, SGA talked about it before the season, saying we felt like we didn't play well in the NBA Finals. We're going to enter the season as if we lost in the second round of the playoffs. And they won the championship. They should be the hunted, but they're playing like the hunters this season so far.
Yeah, I think they have a unique combination, Bonta, of incredible passion for the game individually. They've got great complementary talent. The ages of their roster makes perfect sense. They've got the humble superstar. They're from a small market, so I think right away there's a little bit chip on the shoulder there. They don't get a whole lot of attention. I don't think they want attention. And then they're just a tight-knit group. You see their post-game interviews. You see on the floor, you don't see anyone getting really too excited. I think they handle winning and handle losing the same way, with humility and grace. So when you do that after a championship season, I think that's culture. And it's a little different in this day and age to kind of fly under the radar. But I think that's the true personality of them as individuals and as a collective group.
They're attempting to become the first team to go back-to-back in the NBA since the Warriors did it back in 2017 and 18. With that said, let's move on to Al Horford, who may not play tomorrow, hasn't played back-to-backs all season long, but it feels like when he's starting to get his rhythm back here. I thought it was a productive night for Al Horford, 4 of 6 from the floor, 13 points, 6 rebounds, moving a lot better after missing a slew of games due to sciatica.
He looks healthy. And with this team, Bonta, and with the way the NBA is, he's going to find wide open three-point shots. He's going to knock them down at a high percentage. And he's playing great defense and protecting the rim. He's always in the right place defensively. He's playing good basketball. He's a complementary piece. He needs everyone else clicking at a high level so he can come in, and what he brings is enough to impact winning.
And then the same can be said for Will Richard, the 56th overall pick out of Florida. 13 points in the first half, led the Warriors. That was a team high. He was the only player in double figures at the break. Well, Oklahoma City, they adjusted very quickly to what Will Richard was doing in that first half. He was 0-2 in the second half. They didn't let him get a shot off. He didn't make anything, didn't score in the second half. But I think if he could channel what he's doing, especially off that 3-game road trip, and what he did in that first half tonight, as you mentioned, a complimentary piece to what the Warriors bring with the big three.
I think an important thing about Will Richards, Bonta, is you and I, Steve Kerr, his teammates, and they know what he can do. He knows what he can do. Play to your strengths. Stay away from your weaknesses. He knocked down a few three-point shots in the first half. You said he had 13 points. The Oklahoma City Thunder's defense adjusted a bit. But that was the one thing, if you look at the stat sheet, that sometimes the Oklahoma City Thunder, they'll give up threes. But you got to make them all night long. And you got to make them when you're tired because they're not always wide open. They're closing out. They're running people off three-point shots. And for a bunch of players that were not used to playing big minutes, I think over the course of the game, they got worn down.
We knew this would be an uphill battle for the Dubs tonight without the big three and DeAnthony Melton and Jonathan Kuminga. You're a coach in there. You're going in that locker room. You know they got blown out. Is there anything you could take away from this game, as you saw from Will Richard, Moses Moody, Pods? Can you take anything away from this game tonight?
Absolutely. And I said it at halftime. I'd say the same thing postgame. I'm not going to question their energy and their effort. The thing that they couldn't do at a high enough level was execute the shot making. I thought, the first half, I thought they played a great first half. Oklahoma City Thunder closed that half 19-0 run like a champion. That's what they did. But I don't think it was anything from a lack of effort, a lack of focus, because we were more concerned about points off turnovers.
Right.
Halftime was 9-9, but they were shooting 30% from the field, 20% for the three-point line, and then it didn't get much better in the second half. As we mentioned, the Oklahoma City Thunder for the game, 50, 40, 100.
In those other categories, second chance points, Oklahoma City 8 of 9 in that first half. Fast break, they were a +10 in that department. So they needed to win all those hustle categories as well as shoot the three ball well.
And that shows up, and again, Bonta being down there, the speed up and down the floor, the length, the ability to recover after you get beat, helping the helper. I thought a few times the Warriors had a beautiful offensive possession, and it wound up in a contested shot because of the ability of the Oklahoma City Thunder to cover so much ground, and they play defense on a string. They are locked in.
Moses Moody tonight. Look, he's got to get going here, get some consistent minutes. He's been in the starting lineup for the last couple of weeks here. 6 of 12, shot 50% from the floor, 13 points, just 2 rebounds. So Moses Moody, another complimentary piece that when the big three does get here and Steve Kerr solidifies this rotation, he's a guy they need to get going from the three-point line.
Yeah, decent numbers. But, Bonta, think about this. If SGA, Chet, and Jalen Williams were not playing tonight, how those role players would create their own shots. Right. They're used to the gravity of a Steph Curry. So you're walking, when Steph's playing, before the game starts, there's going to be X amount of wide open shots yielded to you because of Steph. When that's not there, you're asked to do something you're probably capable of doing, but you have not been doing for a few years now because that has not been your role on this team.
All right, so the Warriors start the new year off with a loss at the hands of the defending champions, but good for them. They could burn this tape, quick recovery. Maybe they'll sleep here at Chase Center because they have the Utah Jazz on deck tomorrow night at 7 p.m. right here at Chase Center. We'll hear from Steve Kerr on the other side as we keep it rolling here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live.
Toyota Warriors Postgame Live is presented by Toyota, class-leading MPG and more hybrid models than any other brand. Toyota,